Alright, good afternoon folks. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy death indexes. And today I wanted to try out some new cards. Let's angle this down a little bit so you can see me better. How's that? Yeah, it's better. Anyway, so today I wanted to try out some new cards. When Dreadhorde Arcanist was spoiled, I looked at that card and I saw something that had potential. You know, specifically going and rebuying your lightning bolts and your cantrips seemed really good to me. So we have a Cartesian special here, and I'm really looking forward to going and trying out this card. And we've also got Narset, Parter of Veils in the sideboard that I want to try out. And why is my deck 58 cards? Because Fire Ice did not upload. Alright, let's fix that. This brought to you in part by Card Hoarder. Look at how great Card Hoarder is. Alright. So we have Fire Ice. Let's say I want to get a couple of these. Let's get 2 of them. You go to checkout. I have a loan account, so I get to do this for free. And I click Place Order. And within about 2 minutes, we will get copies of Fire Ice delivered to us by a wonderful Card Hoarder robot. Card Hoarder, shout-outs for being absolutely awesome and making the lives of streamers awesome. But I'm going to do the deck tech while we wait for those copies of Fire Ice. Alright, so what are we doing? We're similar to traditional Blue-Red Delver, but rather than having Storm Chaser Mage as an aggressive 2-mana threat, we have Dreadhorde Arcanist instead. So this is like a little bit slower in terms of, ooh, it's already here. Thank you, robot friend. Yes. Whoop, 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 whoop. Fire. I have many bad cards with fire in their name. Okay, anyway. So instead of having an aggressive, Storm Chaser Mage, we have Dreadhorde Arcanist in the slot. So it's not quite as fast to do damage, but the damage that it threatens over time is probably equal, although it also comes with more flexibility. Ah! Speak of the devil! I stole your deck list! It looks really fun! So as far as the rest of the main deck goes, we don't have some other things that you might see normally in Blue-Red Delver. So sometimes in Blue-Red Delver, you'll go and see a Monastery Swift Spirit, almost along the lines of Burn. But we have Grim Lavamancer here instead. That's okay. I'm all right with playing an old deck list. If you want to, hit me up on Twitter sometime and send me an updated list. If this goes well, I'll totally play this again because this card looks like so much fun. And we have maybe a few more cantrips than you might normally see in Blue-Red Delver to sort of help fuel both Grim Lavamancer and Dreadhorde Arcanist. But if you kind of look at the threats we're playing, all the threats we have actually work well with the deck just being packed full of cantrips. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just take a look at your deck list when it gets posted then, which will hopefully be in the next day or so. The sideboard has a relatively good set of tools. Narset being sort of the eye catcher here, but we have the usual some stuff that can go and answer Chalice, some stuff that's good against the blue decks. More graveyard hate than maybe is normal in this shell. And a couple extra counter spells, and the sort of catch-all Vapor Snag. Historically, one of the problems with Blue-Red Delver is if something Tarmogoyf-sized sticks, and your Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightnings and such can't get rid of it, it just stays. It's not going away. So that's something that, every once in a while it's nice to just be able to bounce a big threat. And this is, an answer to things like Grizzlebrand that happen to sneak into play as well. Alright, let's just go ahead and get into it here. I do want to apologize for sort of my random streaming schedule. Things will be more consistent soon. This is my last week of work with my current job, so then things should even out more or less starting like middle of next week. Things are going well. I'll talk a little bit about the job search when we have some downtime, but I'm pretty sure I've got it figured out. I won the die roll. We have a hand with 2 initial threats and a piece of turn 1 interaction for any sort of spell-based deck. This is fine. Note that this is when it attacks. So it's not like you can just sit on a Spell Pierce or something like that you have in your graveyard from a previous time. So I'm going to play either Arcanist or Lightning Bolt on my next turn. And I don't know that I'm actually going to hit a 3rd land. So I'm going to do something that's a little aggressive here, and I'm just going to fire off a bolt. We want a bolt in the graveyard if we end up playing this next. And I think that is what I'm going to do. My reasoning being that on my next turn, if I pre-combat play Young Pyromancer and then I attack with this, I can get a Prowess trigger off the Lightning Bolt and get some value out of the Young Pyromancer. Although there's a decent chance that we might just get like this Source of Plowshare. Nope! Show and tell. Well, so much for this game. I will try, but I assume I'm dead. Alright, so there's Firemine's Foresight into a combo kill. Alright, so like we're definitely tapping out on turn 2 for one of our threats. Like, it's unfortunate that our opponent like was a combo deck and had the ability to go off on turn 2. You know, that is what it is. And yes, Dr. Bill, I will see you at SCG-Con. Sometime later message me and like we'll figure out something where we can get dinner or drinks or something like that. Alright, so what do I want against Show and Tell? So Pyroblasts are probably fine. They can't pressure a Narset if I make it around to play it, although this is relatively expensive. I could consider an Echoing Truth, I guess, or a Vapor Snag, I guess. Fluster's fine. Hydroblast is okay. So these are things that I think about. What don't I actually want? So I can't actually tap down an Emrakul with a Fire Ice, so I'll probably just pull those out. I can probably pretty safely pull a couple of cantrips. Like this sort of deck is normally on like Brainstorms and Ponders. Hey, welcome. Like, yeah, I'm glad me getting in a stream when it works for me happens to work out for you. And I think I can probably trim one of these pretty safely and just try to ride like the Delvers and Young Pyromancers to victory. Like, this is probably my weakest threat in the matchup. You know, this card's better when you can go and just like recur a bunch of bolts and get your opponent dead or like keep their creatures off the board. Don't side it out. All right, like I'm very willing to listen here. Oh yeah, I missed that. I'm not used to evaluating that as a threat. Yeah, these should go instead. That means I should bring in one more card. It should be the Hydroblast or the Vapor Snag. Hydroblast can hit a Firemine's Foresight. It can hit a Sneak Attack. I don't know if they're playing main deck red or not. minus a bolt, and oh yeah, so I pulled some of these. That's fine. Uh, 12 seconds. Sure. All right. So I have a handful of counter spells. I have no manipulation. I have no threat. But I'm pretty likely to draw one of those two things in my next 2 draw steps. So I don't think I actually want to pitch a hand that has this much potential. Like, say I draw like a young pyromancer. That's fine. Like, say I draw a young pyromancer or an arcanist or a delver, or even just like a cantrip into a threat. Like, I'll feel very good about this hand. Or that can happen. That's okay too. Okay, what bad white card are they playing? It's gotta be Teferi, right? Am I playing around a back to basics or equivalent? I guess I have the luxury too. Or a Blood Moon, I guess. No, they're probably not playing that in this matchup, right? Yikes. I mean, I guess a Brainstorm is pretty awesome. Like, I can take the Brainstorm fetch, main phase Brainstorm. Maybe not even main phase Brainstorm. Maybe hold it till my opponent's end step. No, this is fine. I don't feel the need to go and like Brainstorm because like I can basically only play a Delver. All right, a Narset. Do I want to Brainstorm because I can Brainstorm then Pyroblast that? I think I do. So I'm just going to throw back land here. Yeah, I guess Daze is fine. Since I shuffled away the other land. Like, I'm expecting my... Oh, I was going to say I was expecting my opponent to fight over that a little bit. Although their plan might just be Swords of Plowshares as well. I think I just let that go. Alright, again. The weird show and tell deck. Do I want this land? If I play this, I can Hydroblast and Force. And and Brainstorm, but like this is probably my pitch to this. I don't think I want to play this. If I draw another land, I'll use this to shuffle back. Potential upside. What is with these walkers? Do I care about this? If I let this resolve, it just like bounces my Young Pyromancer. Don't really love that. Can force pitch Hydroblast because my opponent obviously is probably not on red at this point. Well, we got another one of those. I'm okay with the main phase Brainstorm here. Like, let's clean this up. Well, it's tricky. Because I can just jam this walker down and say, you can't cantrip anymore. But if I do so, then my personal shields are down. So I probably want to Narset next turn. So like, I mean, get rid of a land, put Narset on top, play the Tarn, then I have Pyroblast up, and I have the opportunity to dig for something with Brainstorm and fetch away the Narset if it doesn't look like it's going to be good. Okay, so how much damage do I have? 2, 3, 4, 5. Could make it 6. 6, 12, 18. Have my opponent dead in 3 hits if I Brainstorm here. Otherwise, I can save the Brainstorm and try to use it with Narset stuff. I think I'm okay with firing this off. Alright, so how does Narset work? Alright. I'll put back Delta. I'll draw the Force, and then try to use Narset to draw something that goes with the Force. Or I could just hold Narset and Force. But I think that's too conservative. Alright, we get a Brainstorm. That's awesome. The rest of those cards go to graveyard. No, bottom of the library and random. This is my first time getting to play with this Narset. My opponent has so many things that I feel like I have to counter. Am I just gonna, like, beat this Emrakul, though? Just, like, straight out by attacking into it? I will get a new Narset, apparently. So, when Emrakul attacks, I can sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Attack for 5 this turn, attack for 5 the following turn, so if they don't draw like a Planeswalker or something like that, I will just have them on lethal. Deal. I guess I don't need to like show them that, because like they'll certainly block the Young Pyromancer. So they take 5, go to 5. Yeah, and I'm at 15, so yep. I'm good. Yeah, I have to play the Dreadhorde, otherwise, like, my plan doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I still have lethal damage in play. Alright, did you draw something that can answer one of my creatures? No! Alright, we have beaten an Emrakul with a 1/3 Trampler. Okay. I agree with your assessment of the situation. Hydroblast, not so much good. Now that I know that my opponent has, like, Swords to Plowshares and a bunch of Planeswalkers, I probably want these bolts back. Then I don't have to, like, counter the Planeswalkers. They can just go, like, hey, bounce my idiot, I'll bolt your guy. Huzzah. Also a little less sure about Narset on the draw. Like, when I'm on the draw and my opponent has the ability to, like, lead on some of these Planeswalkers or lead on Show and Tells before I'm really, like, set up and in an aggressive position, I don't know that I have time for that. No, I don't think they cast any cantrips. They just drew mono things that I countered. Is Vapor Snag a creature or a permanent? Creature. I could, like, Echoing Truth to bounce some of their shenanigans, but I don't know. That's probably just, like, resetting loyalty on Planeswalkers, so... I don't, like, just to go on record saying this, I don't really think the Show and Tell with white is particularly good as a whole. I'm going to keep this hand. It's not particularly exciting the way that it is at this exact moment, but it has, you know, infinite amounts of potential. Like, I haven't played any games with a Show and Tell deck with white in it, but conceptually, I'm not nearly on board with that idea as so many other people have been elsewhere. Do I want to just preordain here? I don't think I mind that. Do I want land 3? I don't think I particularly need it. I'll bottom that. I'll top the Pyromancer. So I'm comfortable doing a preordain this turn because I still have Daze and Force of Will if my opponent has a Soul Land. And no, I don't think you try to Surgical Show and Tells. Like, if I Surgical Show and Tell, my opponent might just win with Planeswalkers. Alright, what? Alright, so this is just instant or sorceries. So this can't actually pay for their planeswalkers. That's nice. We need to live in no fear of show and tell. There's not much that I can do about that. This deck does not have Wasteland. So I can counter the walkers, which hopefully they don't have. But if they just go like show and tell, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to put in a Delver of Secrets. Alright, they have Emrakul, which means I die. Good game. Oh, we do have 4 Wastelands. Never mind. It's possible then I should have, like, brainstormed for a Wasteland on that previous turn. That was my bad. I hadn't seen a Wasteland yet, and I just kind of cruised for a sweet deck list pretty quickly. I didn't spend a lot of time studying it. Oh, we're playing against Cliffy. Cliffy's probably going to be playing Ant. I'll be keeping this. Hand's kind of medium. I'm going to need to dig for another land. Hey, we got it. Put that on top. But I might just, like, delta it away and just, like... maybe not. Like, I can just, like, pass this turn and then play Pyromancer and use my cantrips following that. That's fine. I'll take the 100% chance of having a land right now. Cliffy's got a respectable island over there. I like it. Note, against Ant, I always live in fear when I'm the blue deck, because I'm always just, like, 1 duress away from death. This is good. This is good. Let's brainstorm. Yeah. I might use Ice as a Rishadan port at some point this game. It might even be this turn, honestly. Just, like, tap down the swamp. I don't want another Young Pyromancer. And honestly, like, this Young Pyro alone might be enough to just ride out the rest of this game. I think it's better to play Delver than tap Swamp. That's possible. Maybe I'm getting too cute and I'm too used to, like, Death and Taxes lines of play. Like, I'll set a stop in my upkeep here. Yeah, I wanted to hold up some mana to be representing more potential things. That was my thought process. And I do think I will take the Fire Ice and use it to tap down a swamp. But let's ponder and try to find another counterspell. I don't want any of that. Ice. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I assume I'm probably dead. I'm gonna force to, like, put them into a position where they might just be dead. Oh, I double counted mana. Or I double counted life, rather. I was thinking about, like, the damage from Thoughtseize and also the damage from the Elemental. Yeah, I'm not dead yet. I am, however, scared. Because, like, it does not take much to kill me, you know? Like, a Past in Flames, a Cabal Ritual, and we're pretty close on those two cards alone. Yeah, so, like, it needs to... It's at least one turn away for a red source. Well, did not expect to win that one. Alright, so what do we have here? Narset is a nuisance. I might board it in. Again, it's a little slow. Surgicals and Crypts are fine, with Crypt being better than Surgical. I'm not sure if I'll actually board in the Surgicals, but, like, Fluster's really good. Probably won't Hydroblast just for Past in Flames if I'm going to be bringing in Graveyard Hate. So, like, these are the definites, these are the probably. So, I don't really love Grim Lavamancer. That's more for creature-based matchups. And I'm maybe not supposed to have quite this many, like, tap out 2 mana cards. So I could see myself trimming one of these. I'd lean towards not playing Surgical. Although I'm not 100% sure. Narset might be overboarding, but, like, my opponent, like, can't pressure it, So, like, if this hits play, they don't get to draw cards. Like, their cantrips are off. Surgical is good with Arcanist. That is a cute point. I had not considered that. All right, goblins can technically kill Narset. Yeah, that's fine. I think Narset's overboarding. I might play it when I'm on the play. I'm going to trim a bolt. Maybe trim a preordained and play a surgical. Alright, we have Daze, Fluster, Force, Arcanist, and a cantrip. This is an awesome opening hand. Even if I tap out on 2, I still have 2 pieces of interaction up. I may not play Preordain on turn 1, depending on what I draw, just so it can be a blue card to pitch to Force. I'll probably get rid of this stop on my own upkeep. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep this as Force fodder for the time being. Like, I feel pretty good about the cards that I have. It's possible I'm supposed to wait 1 turn for this, but I want some degree of pressure in play. And, like, it'll be a double Preordain next turn, which is awesome setup. This isn't the best degree of pressure, though, like, without a bolt or something to flash back in the graveyard. Because if I have to force this turn, I'm probably pitching my Preordain, which is awkward. And keeping that in mind, maybe I should have just, like, Preordained and then passed, so I could also be holding up Flusterstorm. I'll force a Dark Ritual, for sure. And I've changed my mind. I'm going to pitch the Fluster, because I want to double Preordain. The reason you force the Dark Ritual, by the way, is because, like, on 6 cards there, if I go Dark Ritual, if they go Dark Ritual, their follow-up is probably going to be a Duress or a Thoughtseize, and then, like, your Force doesn't do much after that. Yeah, I'll... I'm gonna bottom that island. That's tough. I'm gonna top that Wasteland. Like, it has synergy with the days that I have in hand here. Oh, this is insane. You might not believe me that that's insane, but it really is. Like, a Delver deck against Ant is not favored. Ant will wiggle through your soft disruption eventually. However, a Delver deck that has Graveyard Hate in play, that's an entirely different beast. Because then, like, the inevitability of Past in Flames isn't there, the additional mana generated by Cabal Ritual becomes less of a problem. And life's way better. I'll be hoping for anything that I can play with the Arcanist. Duress me. You'll take my days, but then you'll know that the rest of my hand is bad. What do I think about that? I think I will daze. Yeah, I'll reveal a daze to flip a Delver. I'll replay... I won't replay my... Yeah, I will replay my Volcanic. We're very favored at this point. Land Grant? What the hell? So he land grants for a land, can go Grim Monolith. This is fine. This is, I guess, some sort of Phoenix Storm hybrid deck. That's what's going on with the land grants. Oh, Bolas's Citadel. I get it now. Okay. Alright. So I have a Twitch question. What is this Monkas thing? M-O-N-K-A-S. I'm not familiar with that one. Monka S? Well, what is it? I'm not one of the cool kids this time around. Oh, okay. So I don't have an extension. It's supposed to be an icon. I got it. Cabal Ritual. So I could daze this, make them pay, take them off of Threshold. I could also just, like, crypt this, let them have this. So how close to dead are they? 3, 4, 5, 6. Days will be 7. I'm just going to knock them off Threshold. And then I'm going to let them have this. Sorry, I was chatting with Cliffy. He was saying, like, game 1 he had the second tendrils, but he didn't realize that he was just going to be dead to bolt. Alright, so Cliffy gets to buy a lot of time here. And presumably still has a second tendrils either in hand or, like, top of library. So we may just, like, die to too many tendrils with, like, the days not being able to do much about it. We do this pre-combat for our Arcanist, so we get to do it again. Wasteland, does that matter? The Brainstorm's great. But do I want the Wasteland? I think I do. Put back Delta, Foothills. I'll fetch. Let's take a preordain here. Bottom. Bottom. Perfect. I can't really take off green because there's also the petal, so I'm just going to take off the permanent blue source. And then I have a Daze with a Ponder to pitch to Force at Will. Yeah, these cards work together well. It's a little slow to get off the ground, though. So I know about the second tendrils. I have to be very careful to not die to it. How much damage do I have? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can make it 10, 11, potentially. So I have to survive 2 turns in fear of tendrils. Grim Monolith adds a lot of mana. What do I think about it? If I daze it, I trade for the petal. Which I think is fine. Like, this is just giving me an elemental. Alright. Snap paying for it. And then I'm going to let that go. If this gets tapped for, like, literally anything, I counter it. Pierce is solid, given my opponent's mana situation. I think I'm going to use the Arcanist to Brainstorm. And then I can use Ponder as a shuffle. Although I might just keep Ponder as Force of Will fodder. And then have Force plus Spell Pierce as interaction. I think that's fine. So let's put back land, land, Let it go to damage. Play the Delta so that I can go and shuffle away some things. Land grant. So that reveals Tendrils and Dark Petition. Yeah, you can have a land. So Tendrils is the last card in your hand, and there's lethal on board. I will spell Pierce. All right, was sweating that one a little bit, but it went well. I'm enjoying the Arcanist. I don't know that it's better than other cards, but it's fun. I know this user. Why do I know this user? Because it's another Ant player. That's why I know them. I'll keep this hand. We have a Pierce and a 2-turn threat and a relatively large amount of aggression. It's different. Like, the card has a very different strength set than Pteramander. But, like, this is a real card. Like, this card has a lot of potential. I feel like it's a little clunkier than Young Pyromancer, but it's very good going with it. I'm not sure how I feel. 100% will snap that off. Not sure how I feel about Grim Lavamancer in the same deck as this. That might be drawing on your own graveyard resources too heavily. Monkeys Can't Cry, thank you very much for throwing some support my way. I appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm having a lot of fun. Grinding Station Delver? Alright. We can call it what we want to call it. Also, it's like, since I haven't talked about this yet, like, at least not recently, War of the Spark is having a huge impact on Legacy. Like, so many cards are slipping into the format. You know, in the initial hype, everyone was like, Teferi, Teferi, Teferi. And now everyone's like, Narset, Narset, Narset. Karn, 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 Karn. The rest is fine. You can take one of my bolts. You're actually just enabling my Dreadhorde Arcanist. Checkmate. Am I just firing off a bolt at your face right now? What am I playing next turn? Am I playing the Arcanist or the Pyromancer? I guess the Arcanist, because I can then play Pyro the next turn and get a Prowess trigger. Playing Young Pyromancer first. Yeah, so I probably play this first, and then my turn 3 can be like Pyro plus Bolt if I don't draw anything else. No, I just want to huck a bolt at the face. I want to make Ad Naus worse. I don't want that to be a real option. It seems weird that I'm leading on this versus Pyromancer. I'm not sure exactly what that says. Like, is that me being wrong? Is that me hedging for value? Is that the Arcanist having like greater potential upside than Pyromancer? I'm not sure exactly. Here we go. Yeah, so like we're in a big legacy shakeup time. Like we're getting all these crazy War of the Spark cards, and we're also going and getting like the Modern Horizons soon, and like that has some legitimately good cards, right? So like there's a crazy new fetch land in there. There's the like pseudo Force of Will card that got printed. There's a couple. Ooh, there's something new that I haven't seen yet. There's apparently a new goblin. Munitions expert. Flash, when it enters the battlefield, you may have it deal damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of goblins you control. Oh, that's neat. That's really cool. So my first thought was that the fetch land was going to go and see play in like a white Eldrazi deck because it can fetch wastes, which no other fetch land up to this point is able to do. No other good fetch land is able to do. So that was my first thought, and I was also thinking about Nick Fit, which like runs a bunch of basics. So it being a 3 to 4 color basic fetcher is relatively strong. But then, like more generally, even in something like Miracles, it's better than many of the other lands, right? Like it's better than, well, not like strictly better, but largely better than something like Arid Mesa in the shell. Okay, so what did we do with these Narsets before? I don't think we boarded them in. All right, so previously, I think we cut those. I think we trimmed one of those. And trimmed a preordain for this much. And yeah, that goblin having flash is like really neat, right? So like normally goblins can only play at like instant speed with vials, and that just gives you something else to go and do. It might make like the black splash builds that have Earwig Squad more popular. I don't think I want to play Pyroblasts. I'm gonna look for better than this. Way better. 100% want that Brainstorm. Yeah, I don't know why someone seriously thinks that's gonna see play. Like, I was chatting with somebody on Reddit, and they're like, yeah, it's just gonna be amazing for red-white taxes. And I was like, yeah, but have you seen P and K? P and K is awesome. And they responded with, yeah, but this one draws cards. And I decided, you know, I'm not going to go for this conversation today. Like, until you've had the joy of having, like, Caracas plus P and K plus Violon 4 and just, like, ruining someone's life, you don't know how good it is. Man, I love Tormod's Crypt so much. This card's great. So I kind of just want to make some elementals. So I'm just going to, like, do a bad Brainstorm to just put more pressure on. That was just a stifle thing, what they were doing there, in case that wasn't abundantly clear. Good habits are very important. So if I bolt them, they're at 7. Then they'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they fetch, they'll die. Or if I preordain, I'll bottom the land, take the next card. Hope it's blue, have force up, but 100% have them dead, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 damage on board, 8 with lightning bolt. 9 with preordain. So they're effectively at 7 due to bolt. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use the preordain. Like, if they duress me and they take the preordain or the force, like, it's kind of awkward for me. I know I have this land on top that I really don't want, but my life could be very bad if I don't have another blue card below this. I'm going to go ahead and do it, though. I'm going to leave the bolt in hand and give them the opportunity to mess up. Because I still have them on a 2-turn clock no matter what, even if I bolt. The only way this is worse if they go, like, rit ad nause. Free combo? Where's the free combo? I want to play against that. Infernal Tutor, Hold Priority, Cabal Ritual. So if I take them off Threshold here, then they're going to have 6 total mana. And they're not going to have what's necessary in order to kill me. So they can go Infernal Tutor into Tendrils, but I'm not dead. Or they can go like Infernal Tutor into Infernal Tutor for Goblins and make a crap ton of Goblins. But I won't die. That's not what I want to see. So I probably lost this one. Okay, what if I draw a Lightning Bolt? If I draw a Lightning Bolt, I bolt that guy, I attack in for 6. That's not good enough. What if I draw a Brainstorm? I think the world in which I win... No, Echoing Truth is in the sideboard. I mean, I'm taking this hit, because blocking doesn't, like, in any capacity, get me to a point where I can win this game. Womp womp. Let's try again. And as your reflection, thank you very much for your continued support. 4 months, getting up there. Glad you've been watching all this time. Things should get a little more consistent again soon. Pretty sure I've got my job search situation figured out. I've got an offer on the table, and I've got a handful of other interviews. At this point, I'm just, you know, kind of shopping around, seeing if something better presents itself. But I think I've got it figured out what I'm gonna do. Once I sign some paperwork and it's official, and you know, salary's figured out and all that stuff, I'll share it with the chat. So how is this Arcanist doing as a whole? Relatively well. I've been pretty impressed by this card. We've been playing against these non-creature matchups, so like the bolts, the lava. Let me sort this. Sorry, just to like. There's my sort button for these. Ah, no time. Oh, we're in the game. I'm gonna keep this. We'll need a second land, but then we have like a good amount of backup for our early threats. We'll see which one of these I would end up playing first this time around. I think our opponent plays Miracles, so I might be more inclined to like play the Pyromancer first. We'll see what the Preordained yields. And yeah, in the previous game, like we're not well suited to answer goblins once they're in play. I'll bottom both of those. I want to like naturally spike a land in the next 2 cards. Yeah, I've played Bomber Men before. I think the various Karn decks are pretty good right now. I think people are still in process of like learning how to play with them. I'm gonna play the Young Pyromancer first this time. Like, this card is just gonna get better the longer the game goes on, I think. Because there's just gonna be like Daze Your Brainstorm. You bet I will. Sorry, let me finish my thought there. The longer we wait to go and play this, the greater opportunity we have to like play more relevant cards. So like if we deployed it this turn, there'd just be the Preordain in there. By the way, Brainstorm's a really good card. Counter that sucker. Just in case, like, you saw me, like, force a Will of Brainstorm, and you're like, what the hell are you doing, you madman? I knew what I was doing. I think I'll fire off a brainstorm here. It's a little awkward. It's a lot awkward. Wish this island was a Volk very badly. Oh, Goblin thank you very much for raiding. I hope you had a good stream. That resolves. Yeah, I just saw that while I was streaming, actually. I'm very excited for you. That card is quite cool. By the way, are you coming to SCGCon? I assume the answer is yes. I said... yeah, let's do it with this. I said no brainstorms. Sweet. We should try to get lunch or something one of the days of SCGCon. Yeah, Goblin, I'm not sure like what you replace, and I'm also not sure how many copies you play. Yeah, Bentley, and if it's easier, feel free to like message me on Facebook and we can like figure out what day it's going to be in at what time. So our opponent is facing lethal. I'm not sure if they realize that or not, because like the Arcanist can go and flash back a lightning bolt. But they might just have Terminus. No. Yeah, Friday's my last day of work. Force. Pitch a lightning bolt. Yeah, that's fine. And you go to 1. Yeah, and no need to play another threat here. Like, we have very, very much lethal on board. Yeah, so, like, I have, like, 4 students who still have to take final exams. So, like, I have 1 student taking a final exam tomorrow, and then I think, like, 3 Wednesday, and then I have 2 teacher work days, and I'm done. Alright, so playing against Miracles. I like Blasts. I like Narset. Probably Fluster. And that's probably it. Like, you can consider Graveyard Hate, but not overly impressed by that. So again, not really digging Fire Ice here. Grim Lavamancer's kind of whatever in these, like, non-creature-based matchups. So I'll probably end up trimming that. And then I still need to make one more cut. A lot of times in the past, I've like boarded out bolts, but with the Arcanist, you like want things in the graveyard that you can go and flash back. And bolt's just great at closing out the game. So it could just be a preordain. Yeah, Bentley, let's tentatively say next Tuesday. I'm going down for a job interview next Monday. Well, not an interview. I've been offered the position. I'm going down Monday to talk to them Tuesday afternoon or morning, but I'll be back for the evening, so I should be fine with doing a Tuesday stream. Yeah, okay, so I already trimmed a preordain, so I think we're good there. This is a strong opening hand. This is another strong opening hand. Ugh. Also, like, I definitely think we did as well as we did in that game because I aggressively went for those early brainstorms. That is a lot of threats. So I think we're going to go Bolt, Delver, Arcanist, Shuffle. No. Yeah, so, like, Wasteland isn't great. Force of Will isn't great. Surgical's also not great, though. And, like, the Wastelands still do, like, provide colorless mana for Young Pyromancer and the Arcanist. So, it's not like they're dead. It's just super awkward when you get multiples of them. But I'm hoping to use the Brainstorm to shuffle away another one. Alright, you get your Narset. I will just bolt it and kill it. It's not that scary to me. Alright, you get a Brainstorm. Bolt that. Waste you. Am I bolting you? I think I'm pondering. I want another colored land. And I think I also... Do I want to play Delver? I kind of want to play Delver. I unfortunately can't guarantee flip it or anything, but... I'm going to respect back to basics here. If all my cards make it back around to my turn, I'll probably brainstorm upkeep to flip the Delver. I don't know that I want to leave that to chance. All right, I can deploy another one of those. That's okay. I think I'm okay with throwing another threat into play. Like, I have the Narset right around the corner. I have 2 more threats in hand. I feel like if my opponent had a Terminus that they could set up, they would have taken a couple more damage and given me 1 more card in order to just take both of my cards off the table. What did that Ponder do? That was a very quick shuffle with Ponder. I'm not sure if that means like too many lands, not enough lands, looking specifically for removal. Opponent's Plains is indeed strong. All right. I mean, I'm very happy that they're taking the Delver off the table and not the Arcanist. Let's just take the Brainstorm. His Blast is great. Let's put back a Bolt and Delver. Or no, I'm gonna shuffle. We'll put back Wasteland, Delver. Blue, 1 blue. Yeah, this is probably going to get actual factual counterspell, and I'll blast it. Luca, thank you very much for following. I hope you're enjoying. No, man, get that Brainstorm out of here. Absolutely not. Okay, fine. The second time around, you can have the Brainstorm. Ooh. Pierce loses a lot of its power if I telegraph it. So I'm going to take a Ponder. Like, the counterspell is something that I want more, but, you know, you do what you can. Ooh, man, are you going to, like, tap low for a Jace and let me bolt it? A Snapcaster. All right, Snapcaster Swords to Plowshares. That's fine. That counterbalance is significantly less fine. Force of Will, you're like 1 card too late, pal. So let's start this. Let's start this off by trying to get the Young Pyromancer in play. See if we can figure out what's going on with Counterbalance. Teferi. Okay. So we know there's a 3 on top. Let's get some cards. That's the best possible thing. Now this Snapcaster Mage is checked. I probably shouldn't have played that Ponder. I didn't think that through. I saw open mana, and I did a thing. These are fine cards. I'll take one of the blue ones so that I can have something to play Force with. So let's plan on pitching the Pierce. Probably tail end of next week I'll play some D&T. I've been kind of like squeezing in streams where I can. The past like 2 weeks have been pretty busy for me. So D&T, yeah, that's fine. I guess like I want to bolt this off the table now while you have 0 cards. Not that like you're gonna draw anything that's relevant, but you know, good habits. Yeah, and so like D&T plays very slowly, so I don't want to go and like try to rush through a D&T league. Like it's not a good place to be in. The deck's pretty good. Like we're 2-2. The Arcanist has like way more potential than I think a lot of people give it credit for. Like when I did my initial like, it wasn't a full set review, but like a partial set review, I said like I've got my eye on this card. I think this card is really neat. Yeah, that's another reason why I haven't been playing D&T is like we kind of have to wait and see how some of this stuff settles to really get a feel for how the deck needs to change to adapt to the new cards. Our opening hand is pretty solid. We're going to want another land. And I think that this is going to be a game where like we're playing the mirror, so I probably need to respect opposing wastelands. But we'll start out doing the same thing. Our opponent is going to be advantaged because they are on the play. Their dazes are online first. And unfortunately, since we don't have the second land, even if I draw a bolt, I can't currently use it to defeat my opponent's Delver. Which, of course, is blind flipped. So they're probably playing traditional blue-red Delver since I saw a Chain Lightning there. Oh, they do not have red mana. Oh, wait. No, sorry, they dazed. So they did not necessarily lack another land. So I can play my own Delver and try to flip it and trade, or I can just like dig for mana, but I'd be digging for mana and stuff. So let's plan on trying to use this Delver as a removal spell if my opponent doesn't have their own red mana. It's a little bit of an ask, though. All right. Flip. Wasteland. Do I want to reveal that? No. I would like to hit more colored mana. Let's try to ponder for it. I'll walk into a daze. I'm fine with that. Not in an awesome position here. Because I lack both a removal spell and the mana required to make it a thing. Scalding Tarn. Do I want to reveal that? No, I do not. But I'm happy to have it. Please don't be a Stifle deck. Oh, boy. I do not want this Delver. That's going to the bottom. The Grim Lavamancer is harder. So, like, I'm going to take 3 from the Delver, and I'll take another 3 from the Delver if I try to use this as my way to kill the Delver, which means I'm dead to the Chain Lightning that's in their hand, so I think I need to actually look for a Bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and bottom that. Good choice. Good choice. Alright, so the Chain Lightning just went directly to my dome. Alright. I'll upkeep Brainstorm. So I'll show them Brainstorm, I guess. We'll put back Pyro, Brainstorm. Flip to Brainstorm. Play land. Play Arcanist. Attack for 3. And plan on trading Delver for Delver. I have Pierce and Daze. Deal. Deal. I accept. Oh my god, it worked, chat. We are alive. Alright, Bentley, I'll be in touch. Thanks. I'm glad you got to catch some of this. Okay, so now I need to counter like everything. No spells ever again from them should resolve. That's the plan, alright? That's the plan. So definitely pre-combat one of these. And then I think I'm going to take a Ponder during combat. I'm going to be so happy if we turn this one around. I think I'm just going to ship those away. Nice! Nice! I think I'm doing it, chat. I think I've gotten past the mana bottleneck that was holding me back. So, like, we can just counter another burn spell that's going to our dome. How do I want to do this? I think I force pitch Brainstorm, and then if they pierce, I daze it. Holy crap. That feels good. Alright, we spun that one around. Alright, so we're playing against Blue-Red Delver. Blasts are fine. More other blasts are probably fine. Fluster's fine. Narsets are probably questionable. And Echoing Truth and Snag are probably questionable. So what's bad in a Delvermere? This is actually somewhat of a legitimate question. I don't play very many Delvermeres these days. So, like, I love the removal. So, like, I'm not going to touch, like, Lava Man, Bolt, Fire Ice. Not going to touch these. All this stuff is just absolutely insane. My thought is that the weakest cards are probably Preordain and Force of Will. Like, if we assume that my opponent is sideboarding similarly, and things like Blasts and Flusterstorms are coming in, like, trying to use a Force of Will to take down one of those seems pretty loose. And yeah, the dazes lose some utility on the draw, like, that's 100% true. But if my opponent, like, is playing anything big, like True Name Nemesis or something like that, I think it's important to have them. Like, what am I playing if I cut dazes? Like, I'm either playing Force of Wills or I'm boarding in some of these cards. Like, Narset's so terrible if your opponent has a threat on board. And, like, otherwise these are just bounce spells. So I think I'm going to keep the dazes. I'm going to keep this hand. Like, we have removal, we have cantrips, we have a threat. Like, that's great, and our opponent has also mulligan. Kind of wish I had another colored land, but, you know, c'est la vie, so it goes. Can't have it all. Since my opponent's on a mulligan and is starting off with a non-threat, I'll probably just wasteland them and, like, reset the game, but I'm up a card. I don't think I'm going to mana screw them, but if I keep them, like, less ahead on mana, or if I get to deploy the first threat, I will be in just a much, much better position. And I'm just going to dig for another land here. Great. What do I want next? Probably the Blast. Alright, I played Wasteland. I will daze basically any 2-drop that my opponent plays, even if it's not particularly good. I'd also just consider dazing a cantrip that's played out. Absolutely not. I could just bolt it, though. Like, I could just go, like, land, bolt. If they're mana flooded, I might not have another great opportunity to go and use this Daze. So what am I doing if I Daze? If I Daze, I'm just pondering for my turn. Otherwise, I'm bolting and pondering. No, I'll Daze here. Yeah, like I love this exchange. So like, assuming they don't have another Daze or Force, I just bolt this, and I'm super happy about my life choices. Like, I want to use some counter magic to fight over red threats, because I have the blue threats better covered by permanents. Okay. So I could just, like, play a Pyro this turn, and if they don't have a Bolt, I'm very happy. Or I can just try to find another Bolt of my own. They're currently just getting to Ponder with that, which is good. Which is very good, given, like, that they're down on cards. I think this is an okay time to brainstorm. Let's look at a bunch of cards. Yikes. We were really looking for either a removal spell or a Delver there. We did not hit. I think I'm going to ship back land Daze. Fetch. I guess we're fetching another non-basic. I'll preordain this time. I'll bottom both of those. It's not what I'm looking for at this stage of the game. You're one, well, I guess more than one card late. Now I don't want my opponent to find a Bolt. Them finding a Bolt is bad for me. Because it means, like, they bolt a threat, and then they can, like, potentially bolt my next threat down. If I ponder, and I find that one specific card, it also may require me to go through some crap. So I'd rather ponder the next turn when I have the ability to take the best one and shuffle away, because I already have the Wooded Foothills, right? A True Name Nemesis would be pretty devastating, but I don't think my opponent's going to be playing that. Also, like, this card way scarier than Young Pyromancer on the other side of the table. Like, Young Pyromancer, whatever, I'll play my own Young Pyromancer. But, like, this threatens so much more. Well, not so much more. This threatens differently than Young Pyromancer does. Like, I think this card has a lot of upside to it. And there's no shuffle off that Ponder. They found something that they liked. All right, so we're looking for removal. Yikes. So I can just, like, play double Delver. I can just go, like, shields down, go, like, Delver this turn. And not flip because I'll have to fetch. This line is so bad. If they have the bolt, please don't have the bolt. If they had the bolt, they just like, oh, thank God they don't. So they had it, they just like bolt, attack, bolt. Fuck. Yep, there we go. We've got the wrong side of the deck to deal with this threat. Honestly, I'm going to lightning bolt this before playing the Young Pyromancer to just play around more things. I know that's not, like, the best order in which to do that in terms of, like, value, but I don't want to get that, like, dazed or pierced or whatever. Like, taking that off the table is so important. I'm also not exactly sure what they have if they didn't, like, answer the Pyro. There we go. In some capacity. That's fine. Like, I have a Pyroblast for that. That's not that big of a deal. And honestly, I may leave this sitting on the table for a few turns. I'm not sure. Like, I have the ability to answer it, but it's possible that, like, these targeting Delvers and Cantrips is more important, because some of my threats, like the Arcanist, just ignore this and don't care about this. At the same time, though, like, my opponent has this Wasteland, my opponent might be, like, building up soft counters. And so it's just better for me to answer it while I can, I think. Because that's a card that needs to leave the table at some point this game. Do it while it's safe. The Spell Pierce is basically dead. I assume I'm going to shuffle this back with a Brainstorm. I played this island out so I can play a Pyroblast around a Spell Pierce. Alright, who in chat said the Chain Lightning lists don't have true name? You're fired. Fuck, Flusterstorm. That's so bad. They're all targeting Pyroblast. Alright. I have literal no answers to that. I have to race. So my position isn't that bad. Like, I can draw a Young Pyromancer and try to go wide of this. You know, I did not think that through. I did not think that through. That's a clear punt. I was like, oh, it doesn't matter what I use this on. I'll just use it on something and I'll make him crack that fetch land. That one's on me. That's just a streamer goof. Well, I guess there was a reason to, like, play out my other volcanic island. I think I'm just going to be dead to the true name. Like, is there any way I can deal 17 before my opponent attacks 2 more times? I think the answer is literally no. Oh, wow. Well, it's very good to know they have multiple of those. That makes me slightly more inclined to keep some Force of Wills. It also lets me know that I don't need to throw away my Dazes so readily that they have an endgame target. I think I'm going to cut a Preordain for a Force of Will. Just to have access to one. This hand's fine. It's not necessarily exciting. Unclear whether or not I'll be fetching basics or not this game. Like, I can lead on this to be able to daze, or I can lead on this to be able to bolt on their turn. I don't think I want to daze turn 1. If I daze, I'll do it off bulk. Yeah, that's fine. And I think I'm going to go non-basics this game. I'm going to Pyroblast that, get myself, one less card that interacts with True Name Nemesis, but leave myself with the Bolt that can interact with the Arcanist. This is great. So I'll take this, then this, then this, shuffle. No, so I have Delver plus Flip set up for next turn. We'll see how damning my Wasteland play was on them. Okay. So we have Delver and maybe Flip. Indeed, Bolt can interact with my opponent's base. I like the way you put that. So we have Daze to protect the Delver from any removal spell this turn. I will probably just counter a Cantrip as well. Alright, they're just playing around Stifle. Yeah, I'll reveal Fire Ice. I will not daze that. Will I force that? I don't think so. I think I'm just playing Protect the Queen at this point. Like, I want Delver with 2 layers of protection. Use that to buy me time to get to Young Pyromancer. I was about to say, I don't like how naked I am to True Name Nemesis, but we solved that problem. Alright. Land. Nice. Please don't have land True Name. That will wreck me. Well, maybe not wreck, but it'll be real good. Awkward. Very awkward. Not well prepared enough for the mirror. He has more bolts than I do. Like, he gets to attack, bolt my pyro. And I have nothing. If you are curious about whether or not this card's good in Delver, very clearly beats the ever-loving crap out of Young Pyromancer. Basically, every game in this match has been decided by this card. Yeah, so now if I play this, it just like dies to the lightning bolt that's in the graveyard. Hopefully my opponent uses that to go at my face this turn, rather than my creatures. Otherwise, I think I'm just dead. Starting a Brainstorm. But I don't think I can counter that Brainstorm. I think I just need to, like, save this Pyroblast for a True Name. Yeah, definitely a believer in this guy. Don't even know exactly what I'm looking for, honestly. Yeah, like in Grixis as well, like you can go and like play other kinds of early interaction, like say Thoughtseize. You can go like Thoughtseize, Arcanist, Thoughtseize. Now Flip Delver isn't even that good, right? Like there's still Bolt. Like there's another Bolt here, so I'm just like throwing away the next creature that I play. And meanwhile, this thing is just like burying me in cantrips. And even if I get the Bolt out, yeah, like you said, then if I play a Delver, it's Pyroblastable. I just don't think I can beat this card. Like, I need a bolt for it, and it basically has to be bolt. It can't be one of the other things. Oh, yeah, Pauper got a series of savage banning today. It was 3 cards, right? It was like Gush, Probe, and some other blue card. Well, I guess I'll blast that. It's not what I want to be using that card for, but I don't think I can let that hit the battlefield. That's brutal. So, my opponent will probably bolt my face this turn with the Arcanist, because there's nothing else there, which means then I can play the Grim Lavamancer. It's a patience game, you see. If I were them, I seriously would have considered just, like, targeting my Spell Pierce to just keep that in the graveyard. Oh, fuck, are you kidding me? Like, now you have the true name? Please, no. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, thank God. Oh, you're just not doing it because you're in combat. Alright. So, like, I play this. Yes, I'm playing this land, so I can play this around a daze. I can play a Lava Man. But I'm dead to True Name in 3 hits, and my opponent is at 11. I do have a Lightning Bolt in my graveyard. So I can hit for 6 next turn, followed by 3. So they're going to get to Brainstorm, which means they're going to start getting young Pyromancer tokens. Yeah, this is a mess. I think I'm dead. I mean, if the Monarch is a very good and playable mechanic in Legacy, then, like, I think being able to do that sort of thing in Pauper is crazy. And even if, you know, it loses a great matchup, like, the meta will shift around. There will still probably be another good blue deck. It will probably be a worse blue deck, but a good blue deck nevertheless. If they get a Bolt, I'm just 100% dead. On so many different levels. As is, I think I'm just like 99% dead. Well, let's kill their Lavamancer, because if I don't, I will just die to True Name plus that. I can attack, kill their... Yeah, I 100% agree, you should have done that on your end step. But I think we're past the point where that matters. Like, I need to hit another removal spell here, maybe? Is Hydroblast good enough? So I Hydroblast this, Bolt this, and then take 5 and die. That is not good enough. I'm not sure what is good enough. It's Hydroblast again. Well, I tried. So we came out on the wrong side of that league, but like I definitely felt great about this card. I certainly misplayed a few times throughout the league. You know, I made a mistake with Fire Ice, that was bad. And like some of the ways that I boarded, I'm sure were not optimal. But like I feel like a deck list or something like this probably has real legs. The Arcanist is absolutely a real legacy card, and I'll look forward to playing with that card again. Let me see who's streaming here. I'll host Arcan. Arcan just started streaming a few minutes ago. All right, folks. My schedule's a little bit unpredictable right now. I will probably be back for a little while on Wednesday. I don't know when exactly, but things will stabilize again soon. If you like my content, please consider following. I'm streaming Legacy about 3 days a week on average. And if you really like my content, consider doing something to support me in my content creation. Whether that's just following the channel, subscribing to the channel, or doing something like a donation deck list. Cheers, folks, and I'm going to turn you over to Arcan.